Now, we all know that marketing is a very difficult thing for small businesses to do. A small business has enough on its plate to just keeping the doors open sometimes. You're going to have times where you struggle with the rent, payroll, other things. Marketing just doesn't really ever bubble up to the top of your to-do list. We understand that. And we know that small marketers or small companies struggle with this aspect of doing business. So what we're going to do today is show you how you could become a better marketer of your business in your local marketing area. So let's do this: profiting from videos. First, I'm going to show you and talk about the different types of videos and how to produce them. The first one you're going to notice is it's just a narrated PowerPoint or Keynote presentation. This is the simplest to do. It's the least expensive to do. It really doesn't take a lot of talent because this is the one we use most often. But it's not the best method for getting the word out as far as marketing goes. It's really good for teaching. It's really good for showing how to use the product, or maybe steps of closing the business, or some method, adding an employee, doing a labor schedule. These are the things that a PowerPoint or a Keynote presentation being recorded is a good use. These need to stay between 15 minutes to 20 minutes in length. You don't want to get them too long. If it takes more than that, break them up into multiple videos. But yes, this is the first one we're going to talk about. It's the least expensive and can be used for education videos. Next are software demonstrations. This is where you actually use the software and record it. This is a step above the PowerPoint presentation being recorded, and that it has live action. It has examples of the software. We use this a lot in marketing when we want to reach an end user. We look at this type of video that every time we get a view, that is someone who has had a demonstration of our product. So we have literally had over, well over 100,000 views of our software being demonstrated to end users with this type of video. Next is an animated cartoon. We've had real good success with this in our marketing efforts. This one has been one of our better producers as far as people watching the video, people getting views on it. This has been a good one. The next is a whiteboard presentation. This is the one we've had the most success with. This software that is used by the companies we hire to do these, it's really simple. Jeff, I think you said that we could buy this software. Is that right?
Yeah, you can actually purchase this software. It's fairly inexpensive, anywhere from about $120 on up. And I've even seen it cheaper than that, but I think the real cheap ones you find are probably going to be a little more, you're going to get what you pay for, I think. But there seems to be a butter zone at about $120 for this software.
I know we've had our biggest success on our marketing efforts with this type of video. So what do you need if you're going to do a narrated PowerPoint or a Keynote presentation? What is it you need to do this? Well, first thing you need is screen capturing and editing software. There are two versions that we have used, that Jeff and I have used. iMovie for Windows, and you need to put that entire series of words in your search to find it. iMovie for Windows, obviously, is a Windows-based application. And then there's iMovie and QuickTime that come on your Macs. So the iMovie for Windows costs about $60. It's really good software. We've had good success with it, and the majority of the videos that you have seen on our YouTube channels have been produced with iMovie for Windows. But iMovie and QuickTime come standard with a Mac. Whether it's a MacBook or a Mac desktop, those two programs come standard with that device. So they don't cost anything extra. And they really are better than the iMovie for Windows. We enjoy them better, we get better quality, but they are a little bit more challenging to use. Both of these you can learn off of YouTube videos. There are literally hundreds of videos that show how to use the iMovie software. So it's not something we're going to teach today, but it is something that you should learn how to use. The QuickTime viewer, the QuickTime device here, allows you to record the screen. It's not hard to do. You just click down on screen recording. You pick the screen that you want to use. I have two screens, and you see my icons now turned into a camera. I can take a snapshot of the screen, or I can come down here and hit record. Either way, you can get a screenshot or take the actual recording of what you're doing. The iMovie looks like this. This is actually where you would take your recording, place it in this tray down below, and you're then able to actually cut and splice, change the level of voice and volume. If you wanted to get fancy and put music, you could. There's lots of music that is imported into the system, but this is where you come in and change and add to your recording. You can add text boxes, arrows, things that point out the key feature that you're trying to highlight. There's a lot of things you can do with iMovie that will greatly enhance your video. If you don't have the time to look at YouTube and you just want somebody to teach you, if your Apple Store is open, they do have classes on iMovie that make it look so easy. I've taken them, and it really is something to take a look at if your store is open. There are different versions of products, but you need to make sure that if you're going to not use one of the ones we've recommended here, get a sample, get a trial before you buy, because some of them have advertisements that pop up on your screen. Others have a limit on how much of a recording you can make. They really limit you to like 5 minutes or something. They just want you to test it. It's not really usable. So just be careful which one you are looking at. The free versions are free for a reason. You'll need a good microphone, and not the best, but you'll need a good microphone. I've got two. I have one that's a USB that connects to my Windows device, and then I have another microphone that connects to my phone. I actually use my iPhone to record certain videos that we'll talk about here in a minute. But you just need a decent, good microphone, $20 to $40 range. Jeff, I think the one that you use is like, what's that, $100?
Yeah, the one, I actually have several. One of them we purchased for the company is a little over $100, and it's a larger microphone stuff. And I'll tell you, the one Jerry uses for between $20 and $40 is no better or no worse than the one we spent $100 on. And I've recently actually purchased one for about $40 on Amazon for USB, and I'm very impressed with the sound quality and how it works. The one thing I would recommend is when you do look for a microphone, if you're going to be doing your own recordings, it's very nice to have that pop filter with almost any of these. And that's usually a $5 or $6 add-on to some of the cheaper ones. A more expensive one will oftentimes come with a pop filter. And what this does is as you happen to enunciate or breathe out, it will take out some of that noise that is created by that. And you'll find that that actually makes your recordings very professional, work very nicely. The other thing that me and Jerry were talking about offline before this is pick where you're going to be recording. If you happen to be trying to do some recording in your living room or something like that, understand that the little noises around you, the little distractions around you may actually be a detriment to you. I have laughed. I've oftentimes picked a nice quiet office or something like that to do my recordings. But I've even seen people do their recordings in a closet because the clothes and things in your closet actually work as a sound dampener. And it's actually very good acoustics, believe it or not, because it is very pure sound. So it's worth looking into that, but I do highly recommend that in addition to your microphone, you do get a pop filter.
You got a question about what is a pop filter?
So a pop filter, this is usually a little bracketed device that will attach to it between you and your microphone. It's simply a little piece of material and stuff there that'll diffuse some of the air that comes out of your mouth as you're that close to your microphone. A lot of times you'll be recording very close to a microphone in order to get a very good sound, and that microphone might be right up very close to your lips. So that pop filter will actually take out some of your breath noises and stuff that happen to come out. Or like when I speak, especially P's, S's, I happen to have a certain sound that comes out of my mouth, and with a P, I actually make a noise, and you can kind of hear that even more on my recordings, and I become self-conscious of it. That pop filter gets rid of that entirely. When I make an S sound on certain sounds, it'll actually take out some of the extra that's in my S sounds and make it a little nicer.
The key thing here is, guys, don't use your AirPods and don't use the microphone on your phone or your PC. Don't. Get a microphone, the lapel clip-on, and use that. So for software demonstrations, you're going to need the same things here. You're going to need the screen capture, the iMovie. You're going to need a good microphone to do the software demonstration. But you're also going to need the ability to cast or broadcast your screen onto your laptop or whatever you're using to record. In my office setup, I have my MacBook, which is what you're watching this presentation on. And then to my left, I have this 4-foot wide, massive screen that I keep all my other stuff on. That's where right now I've got the chat window and the people listing here on this bigger monitor. But if you're going to do software demonstrations, you're going to have the ability to broadcast from your iPad or your iPhone to the computer screen. And that takes special software. I use a product called airbeam.tv. It costs me $12 a year, so it's $1 a month. What you get out of this is pretty high quality resolution. There are some devices and some softwares that do not work well. Just going to tell you now. Now I'm going to set this one up for you, and so you can see how it looks. So I have a code that then is broadcast to the Google Chrome. Then I start the broadcast on my iPad, and then you're going to see it here on the screen. Now I've got my software. If anything I do on the iPad is displayed onto the PC or computer screen. Then I can use the QuickTime or the iMovie for Windows and record this screen so that I can then use it in my movie later on. But that's how you do it. It's really simple. It's $12 a year, and and as you can see, it's a very high quality image. Some of the cheaper versions are not this high quality. You'll get a lot of pixelation. You'll get a lot of degradation. So pick and choose wisely. The next one up is animated cartoons. And this is really simple. This is one that you may have been hesitant to try, but this is one that Jeff and I really want you to look at, this one and the whiteboard. All you really need is a script that you can write in Word, Pages, or in your email. I use Pages because I can then turn on my microphone and just dictate. That way, the words that are being used in the cartoon or the whiteboard are actually my words that I use when I sell the product. So I have Pages just quote it out, write it out for me. You're going to need an account on Fiverr.com, and that's Fiverr with 2 R's.com. Fiverr looks like this. And then you can sign in.
One of the really neat aspects about doing this on Fiverr, we've been doing this for a while. One, you can fit almost any budget that is out there for production of this material. Anything from doing this for $35, $40 if you want just a simple whiteboard presentation, to going to more expensive. And Jerry was noting that he sits down and dictates his scripts and stuff. A couple of times, I've actually not only dictated down my scripts, but I've actually sent them my recordings and gone, here's what I want it to sound like. So even if they're not using my voice, they get to hear my pronunciations, my inflections, and they will have a professional person do that same reading. And so you don't always have to have a written script. You can actually dictate it out and send it to providers as well. The other thing I'd like to kind of point out real fast is that none of this has to be high quality. You don't have to have, James Earl Jones do your dictation for this in order to have it be very effective. In fact, there's a lot of studies that say having it done in something that sounds like normal speech actually is more effective than having it done with somebody that has a very professional speech pattern. So if you get something and you want to do your own and you like the way your voice sounds, you really want to do this, I'd really encourage you to. I unfortunately am one of those people that don't like the sound of my own voice, so I want somebody else to do it. But do keep in mind, it's very open. You can do what you need to here.
So let's take a look at a couple of these. Cartoon animation. You can get crazy with it, or you can do something simple. This is, we just did something simple. Ours was not expensive. I don't know this guy, but I'm going to pick it out. They're called gigs. When you hire the guy or the person, they're called a gig. And this is what you get for this. He'll deliver in 2 days. For this, you get 1 revision. It's $40. You get to design. You get to choose the voice. That was kind of cool for Jeff and I to go through. We had dozens of different voices that we could have chosen or for our video or the whiteboard. We get to pick. There were, standard English. There was British, Australian, New Zealand, Asian. You even have the opportunity to have multiple languages. So if you want to do a Spanish, you can. Then there's the $90 version. It's 30 seconds long. And then the premium is a minute and a half. Well, we find that the best is around 60 seconds. So look for this type of thing, and you'll really benefit from it. Let's do a whiteboard animation. Explainer videos. There, you can get black and white, color, partial color, and they start out at $15. You can see that they can do color. It looks like they're drawing when they're actually using this software. We provide them a script and the logos if we want. We've even had them put our screenshots onto the Apple iPads that are on the display that look like point of sale devices. So they've actually had the Aldelo logo and the Aldelo screens on the devices. We're averaging around $35 to $50 per 1 minute is what we're finding. This is an example of the script. This is one that I dictated onto my Pages app and then sent it to Jeff. He modified it and then sent it to the developer, and they produced it in just a matter of a few days. We do usually have to have a revision to kind of tweak things, but when you're done, you have a very high quality video. And then I wanted to mention here what I call an honorable mention. This is one that we thought was really going to take off. Jeff found this developer out in San Francisco. She does the voice and obviously the personality in front of a green screen. And then we get to choose the background. This is something that you can do at home in your own office. Before I came to Aldelo, I had my own point of sale company, and I did these things with a green screen. I did the videos with a green screen with me being the voice. It was not for ego, let me tell you, it was not. But what it did do is it saved me a lot of money from having to hire a person. When I went into the field, I got recognized by the restaurants. They were like, "Oh, you're that guy in that video." Yeah. So if you want to build your local brand, don't discount putting yourself on the camera, because there are some serious benefits. You're going to need to buy the green screen background. You need to have good production lights and special editing software. iMovie will do that. You don't have to buy anything extra. It's called Chroma Key, and there are hundreds of videos on YouTube teaching you how to do that. But don't discount this particular method of creating a video, even though you may not like your appearance. You're probably not a model. I'm certainly not a model, but this type of video is beneficial and does work for you. For us, the blonde didn't work out. She only got 79 views in the last 18 months. That's not a good return. The videos we produce with the whiteboards have done tens of thousands of views. So that cost us about the same amount of money, but the return on investment is obviously much greater on the whiteboard than this. So as a wrap up on my portion, Aldelo will supply all the logos, all the images, and videos. If you want to, you can take our videos that we've done and add your contact information and post those. So we will provide you all the logos and images you need, high quality, high resolution images. What we do require is that to protect our brand, we do require that you let us see your video and approve it before you post it. And that's all we ask. We want you to be creative. We do want you to take advantage of this, but we have to protect our brand, and we don't want misrepresentation out there or misunderstandings. So questions?